Soul with Claudette. I have a special guest here with me today. I am excited, Mr. Treamell Lawrence. He is the expert on relationships, and we finally have him here. Welcome to Heart and Soul. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you. I was just really extremely excited to have you. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm just glad everyone is safe from this after storm and everything like that. And it's an honor to be here on your show. Thank you for the invitation. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in such short notice. I have been watching you for a long time. You and I met last year at an event,
Yes.
and I was just inspired by your book. I was inspired by your book, and I love every bit of it. There's some things in here that I have read, but I am still, like everything else, making my way through because relationships are hard, and you have to
Yes.
put the time in and you have to put the effort in. There's so much. But before we dive into all of that, I want to talk to you about you. How long have you been doing this, Treamell? How long? What inspired you to get involved with giving relationship advice?
Well, I've been doing this since 2014. When I first started out, I was writing the blog on mymagicpen.com. And at that time, I had about 18,000 followers. And during that time frame, I used to just write my personal inspiration to have healthier relationships. Everything that I went through as far as my previous experiences and everything that I just feel like what's lacking in today's dating arena. So I usually post these blogs as dear brothers, and those messages were delivered to the brothers out there. And then on the opposite spectrum, I'll post dear sisters, and that was delivered to the sisters out there. And to me, it was like a personal letter until I just start making those personal letters public, and people start gravitating towards the
Right.
message, and the rest is history. And it just grew. It just grew, and I'm very grateful for everyone that follow and take my advice by heart.
Well, as we spoke before, relationships are complex.
Yes.
What are the important components of relationships? What are important components of relationships?
Well, that's a really good question. From my perspective, the most important component is communication. And of course, you got to have connection, and you must comprehend what the other person is stating. But communication is always king. That's always the key, because if you don't have that, then you really can't gauge whether this person is compatible with you or not. A lot of people that get into these relationships today, they only focus on the emotional factor. And I feel that if you just focus on the emotional factor without the communication aspect to see if this person has the same value as you, then it tends to put you at a disadvantage when you're looking for a suitable mate. And communication, just to break it down, comes in four different layers, which we can talk about later on throughout your show. But you have your assertive
Okay.
communication, you have your passive communication, you have your passive aggressive communication, and the last one and the fourth one, you have your aggressive communication. And just a little one that I like to throw in there, you have your ratchet communication. So it's very important to know which style that you use in order to have a healthy, sustainable relationship.
Well, that is so true. I mean, like I said, it's so complex when you meet someone, you're not sure exactly whether you and that person are compatible or not. So there are different stages in meeting someone. And I think that's really one of the things that really need to be paid attention to. Because sometimes I think people dive into the layers that are probably deeper in, as opposed to really going through the steps of taking the time to know someone
Mm.
and knowing whether compatibility is really a fact or if it isn't. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought up that point, because so many people are they're per se they're putting the dessert before the entree. And normally when you put the dessert before the entree, sometimes it can turn out to be a malnourished relationship. So you always want to take your time, come out with a well-cooked meal, put the right ingredients in, so that way you can have a healthy relationship. And the thing is that we have these 3 zones that is part of my philosophy called the 3 DBDS zones. And the first zone is called the friend zone. And I feel like within this zone, you should not have sex at all. This is the time that you collect data to see if this person is compatible with you, like their hobbies, what they're passionate about, and so
Right.
forth. Also, this is where you do not introduce this person that you are getting to know to your close ones, like your children, if you have any, or your parents, so forth.
Right.
And this is where you really take your time to
Mhm.
see if there's any chemistry factor. What is this person's emotional temperature? So if you disagree with this person, how do they handle conflict? So that's the first zone, called the friend zone. The second zone is called the intimacy zone. And within this zone, this is where both people become more affectionate towards each other. This is where courting now turns into dating, because now you're on the same wavelength to see where the relationship is heading. This is where you may introduce that particular person
Right.
to like one of your best friends. This is even within this portion, you have to understand which direction you're heading. And then the last zone is called the physical zone. And the physical zone is with everything that comes with the intimacy zone. This is where you're even more affectionate. This is where sex does occur. This is where there's a title within a relationship, whether
Right.
you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife. And this is where both individuals are one unit and they know what the relationship entails. So it's just 3 basic zones. I feel like a lot of people where they get confused at during the courting phase or the friend zone phase, they, as you mentioned, they jump way right in. And when you just jump way in, just based off the emotions alone, um, you don't know logically if this person will uplift you spiritually, emotionally, and or mentally,
Right.
and that puts you at a
Right.
disadvantage. So that's why I always state sex should not happen during the friend zone. This is where you really should take your time to know this person before you dive even further into the relationship.
So, in other words, the friend zone is really the key zone. This is the zone that decides whether the relationship is going to go to the next level, which would be the middle zone before the final zone, which is kind of like nothing is permanent. The zone where you know that there is compatibility and you know that, in fact, this is something that can or cannot work. Is that correct?
Well, the friend zone is where that's the first starting level. The intimacy zone, that's where
Right.
you both at that particular level know exactly where you want the relationship to head to. So this is where you can figure out if this person wanna, um, if this person is dating with a purpose, if this person really want marriage on the table, if this person want to have kids in the future. This is where all those
Right.
flirty questions come into play during that particular zone. And then finally, the physical zone is where you are cohesive. This is where you guys are unit, and this is where the title is established within that zone. So it's almost as if you was to do mathematics, and as I mentioned, these zones has a high probability to guide you in the right direction. But if you was to do mathematics,
Right.
2 plus 2 equals 4. A lot of people today do 2 plus 2 equals 7 because they dive right in real quick. And sometimes they get the emotions wrapped up during the friend zone when they, for example, if they're looking for a serious relationship, but they end up having a physical transaction. And when that happens, that person may not be a suitable mate. They may not be compatible. For all you know, this person his values or her values can simply be just hookups, but the other person's values could be, I'm looking for a serious relationship. But sometimes people let the emotions cloud their vision. And that's why I state that you really have to take your time if you're looking for a healthy relationship.
Well, that makes total sense. Um, because I guess once you are in the beginning stage, which is really getting to know each other, and you've passed that stage, and you agree to
Right.
go to the next stage, but sometimes, I mean, if people are not honest, it's hard for you to really sometimes dissect that. But nevertheless, I believe that there are always signs, and people sometimes look the other way, or really see the things coming, but I don't know, refuse to really accept them. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, that's why those zones are very important. And the key factor is while you're
Mm-hmm.
getting to know this person, you got to have what I call as moral codes. In my book, I talk a lot about it. Moral codes is
Mm-hmm.
your personal guidelines. These are your values. For example, one of your moral codes can be, I will not tolerate anyone that's disrespectful, or I will not tolerate with someone that's not honest or not transparent when it comes to communicating. And if you follow those zones and have that applied to you, that will create a good filtration process as to whether you want to entertain this particular person or whether this person is not meeting your standards. So that's one thing. And then second is your rules of engagement. Rules of engagement simply means what kind of relationship you are looking for and what you expect out of the relationship. So as long as you have that good filtration process, that does put a high probability to get the relationship you deserve. Too many people today do not have standards. They don't have personal guidelines, and they think they just can go in and freestyle the relationship. And when it happens that way, it puts you at a disadvantage because now when you go in too fast and this person is going in slow,
Right.
it creates an imbalance within the relationship. And that's why it's very important. That's why I said communication is the key, because you really want to communicate and be straight honest as to what kind of relationship you're looking for. And you have to also pay attention to the signs. You have to be observant at the same time.
Right. So the friend zone is a very important zone. This
Oh,
is the zone
yes.
that's really going to take you whether to the next level or not. So this is
Mhm.
your key zone, the friend zone. This is the deciding zone, in other words.
It is. I mean, you don't want to, I don't want my classy sisters out there or even men. I mean, so many people feel like I have to be a sleeper in order to keep her, and the thing is, you should not have to trade sex for validation in order to get someone to like you. I feel like when
Right.
you have standards, it separates you from the other factors out there. I think when classy women carry themselves in that way, it's almost as if that particular woman is a diamond, because there's a lot of um, women out there that are just making it way, way, way too easy for brothers out there. And I personally believe that a brother should earn it.
Absolutely.
But I believe also at the same time that if a woman is interested, she should reciprocate. But again, during the friend zone, I believe that her her per se her cookie jar should be closed and see what the brother's really all about. Again, the emotional factor. You know, is this guy a thermostat? A thermostat person is one that controls his emotions, or is this person a thermometer? A thermometer is where this person allows the external factors to control him. He doesn't have it. He doesn't possess any emotional control. Is this person respectful towards people outside of the ones that he's dating? How does he react to if he has kids with someone else? How does he react to his daughter's mother? Or how does the sister react to the father of her kids? So these are all important factors to have the emotions as well as the logic. So that way it creates a good filtration process in order to avoid the low quality men and the low quality women out there.
Well, that is just fantastic. I mean, I love what you have to say. We're just going to kind of step away a little bit. We're going to talk about you have a university. There's something that you and Mo Triplett, your partner, created. Tell us about that, because there's so much that you do, Mel, and I am just really so proud that a black brother, a black man, is doing so much and so many things to uplift us, beautiful queens and beautiful kings. Tell us about that.
Thank you for asking. Yes, we have DBDS University. Pretty much with the university, um, reason why Mo and I created, and shout outs to Mo, my partner Mo. But growing up, I was raised by a single mother, so I had to learn a lot of things by a trial and error method. I didn't know back then how to
Right.
communicate with women. I didn't know how to court back then. A lot of things that I was learning from the outside looking in was from celebrities and sometimes guys that did not have good standards. But as you get older, you
Right.
have this mature factor, and you start surrounding yourself with high quality men, and they teach you the ropes and show you how to really court a woman and how to have self confidence and so forth. So Mo and I created the university because we know a lot of brothers, even around our age, just don't know the factor or don't know how to court women. I have a lot of relationship tips to help them in those arenas, and not just that, we give our perspective to the women out there as well. You know how
Right.
important it is to carry yourself as a classy woman. How important it is to be in your natural feminine essence, not what society is showing you. But a real classy woman, one that's kind, one that's nurturing, one that has standards and stick to them, um, one
Right.
that um, one that is very like an emotional rock, so and very supportive. So these are all like very natural feminine traits, and how they can use that in order to attract a masculine man, one that's confident, one that's ambitious, one that has integrity. So whatever he say, he stick to his word. His words and his actions parallel with each other. So
Right.
we have a lot of courses on DBDS University that people can join. And besides that, we also have a dating site. I wouldn't call it a dating site. I'll call it a relationship
Oh, tell
site.
us about that.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's called dbdssingles.com. And on that site, we set it up for people to look for real relationships. If you're relationship ready, our site is the one to come to. It's Black owned, but anyone could join.
Is there an age group? Is there an age group on on that site?
It is. It's 22 and up. 22 and up. But
Okay.
the beauty about our site is if you're the kind of brother or sister that's just looking to play games, then we're not the site. You're better off going to POF, you know. But our site is very, we have high quality men, high quality men and high quality women.
Good. Good.
You have to make sure you take a nice photo. I'm not talking about the back shot photos, my sisters, and I'm not talking about you brothers out there flashing your money in the picture. I'm talking about presentable photos. So we're trying to gear our site towards a certain segment for relationship ready people. It's been doing well too, by the way.
One of the things again that I love, because again, from the time I met you last year, and kudos to Mark Olson. Happy birthday, Mark. It's Mark
Oh, happy
Olson's
birthday,
birthday.
brother.
That's where I met you. Yeah. So one of the things that I like is that you don't bash women and you don't bash men. And I've been watching you all along what you do, and I like it's very tastefully done. Your advices to men and women are equally balanced. It's not a bashing situation, and I like that about you. And just watching, your page and all the things that you do, and the advice that you put out is well thought out. These are things that are not far fetched or something that just came from thin air. These are factual things, and I love the examples. Tell people a little bit about that, how they can sign up to your page and become, members of your page, because I think it's a page that a lot of people need to be a part of. Tell us about that.
Are you referring to the DBDS group page, or are you referring to the
Yes,
DBDS sales website?
the
Yes,
group
I mean,
page and the website, both.
absolutely. Oh, thank you. So the group page right now, we're growing. To your audience, if you want to join, just go to DBDS. DBDS stands for Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters. Because I don't, when people join in, I don't feel as if they are members. I view everyone as a family member because I feel like we always have to
Mhm.
uplift each other. It's a safe haven, so
Absolutely.
anyone with different perspectives when it comes to relationships, please feel free just to put your thoughts out there, because right now it's a lot of negative energy in this world, and a lot of, especially with our people. And I'm all for for the brother and sister to establish healthy relationships. I just truly believe in my heart, and our goal as DBDS is that the more healthy relationships you have, the more healthier communities you have, and that will trickle down to the next generation. And I think it all starts with us start flipping dysfunctional relationship as normal. We have to change. We have to see dysfunctional relationship as abnormal and just change our mindset. I know a lot can do with upbringing, and also media literacy, because what you see on TV, like these
Right.
people just think that's the relationships are normal. You know, you see somebody on TV with 20 women. Brothers want to be like that particular man on TV and have 20 women. Or if they see a sister on TV just behaving in I would say ratchet manner, you know, using excessive profanity. From my perspective, I don't believe that's classy. So I just think we have to start reversing this trend. And once we start reversing this trend, we'll create healthier relationships. But anyone could join the group. Anyone, feel free. DBDS, go up there. We also have an anonymous section where people post their issues whenever they have a problem, and they let the group give them advice on what they can do to help elevate their relationship status and so forth. So it's growing. I mean, it's 5,650 people, and it just continuously growing. And we have incentives as well. You post a great comment, or if you post something that's very positive, you may get you may get a Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters book, listen up book, which right now is a 4.8 rating on Amazon, or you may get a DBDS
Hey,
T-shirt that I'm wearing. So let's just continue to spread that positive message. As far as the DBDS Singles website, if you're not about looking for a healthy relationship, then again, that's our site may not be the one for you, because our site is geared towards healthy, just planting that seed, just for someone that's very serious. Um, Not a site for hookups. It's not a site about playing games. It's not a site about using somebody for their money, or using somebody just for a physical transaction. It's a site that that you're trying to gear yourself to really get to know someone and see if you're a good match. So right now, if you were to join DBDS Singles, and if you meet somebody on DBDS Singles, my partner and I will pay for the first date. You know, and of course, there's more details when
ooh,
you
that's
join.
awesome.
No other site is doing that, but there's more details when you join. And but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts going on right now, and I'm just very happy that um, Mo and I are putting our legacy out there, because we want people to have healthy relationships. We do.
That's awesome. Tell them also about your show on Sundays, so people can follow you on your show. Tell us about your show on Sundays.
Yes, our show is called DBDS Live every Sundays from 4 to 5, and we have a variety of different guests. We need to get you up there too, but but it's from all
I'm
walks of
ready.
life.
I'm
You're
ready.
ready. You're ready. It's
I'm
from
ready.
all walks of life. We have ministers up there. We have teachers. We have counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, talk show host, actress. Just a few weeks ago, we had a former Cincinnati cheerleader up there. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, it's just growing. But our whole objective is to create a network of positive people that can just be an inspiration to the next generation to see what true healthy relationships are about. And we have those hard, tough conversations in a mature and a respectful way.
I just feel, Mo, that I think sometimes fractured relationships come from the person themselves either having low self-esteem or coming from a fractured relationship themselves. A lot of our sisters and brothers, they tend to gravitate towards people that are weak. And when I say this, some men would prey on the weak, and if women are just, some women are, honestly, some women are just out there and they're desperate. So they're just kind of waiting for someone to just hand them a bone and they grab it. And no matter what has happened, but this is their position. And that to me, that shows a lack of self-esteem. I mean, I don't know. And it's the same thing for men. What do you think? And I think this is all stemming from the issues. It's a deeper issue. It's coming from maybe the younger years, maybe the lack of, or the, things that weren't seen in the home, if there was a home. There's so many different issues that are kind of the reason why people tend to do the things that they do in relationships. Am I right or wrong? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
No, I'm glad you brought that up because it is um a lot of traumatic baggage out there with both genders, per se, because in order to change, you have to change within yourself. That's the most important thing. You have to adjust your behavioral pattern, and you have to surround yourself with positive people. I think the environment has a lot to do with it as well. Within my book, I talk about the positive direct definition, and what that simply means is that
Mm-hmm.
you are surrounding yourself with like-minded, positive people, people that do have healthy relationships. Whether you want to go to a marriage group, or maybe you start reading these self-help books, or maybe you want to join
Right.
a group on social media that's geared towards positive relationships. But that's called the positive direct definition. And I truly feel that when you surround yourself with positive people, it starts to subconsciously change your mindset. You starts to pull you in that direction. Compared to a negative direct definition, and that's the opposite. So if you're always around people that are very promiscuous, if you're always around people that hop from, they're bed hoppers, so they hop from bed to bed to bed, and disregard how they take an advantage of someone's heart. If you're always around people that are just very don't have emotional control, like they have ratchet
Right.
communication, and they just put people down, and they're very mean spirited, then more than likely you're going to start turning in that direction. So I think it's very important to like change your surroundings and really start to self-reflect. Self-reflect is most important as well, because when you don't self-reflect, then you'll take a L. And I don't mean L that, L could be a good thing. I mean, if it's L and you learn from
Right.
your poor choices, then that L could represent lessons. But if that L is in a negative spot, then that L can mean loss. You're a lost individual, and
Right.
you have to change your mindset. I believe it all begins with that individual.
And I also think that it's very important to restructure your surroundings. I think that's
Yes.
key. I mean, there's nothing wrong with
Right.
being from the hood because we all come from somewhere. But I think you as a person, you have to want better out of life. And I think it begins with you because I mean, not everybody comes from a home with a mother and a father. Very few people come from a home. I was fortunate. I come from a that had a mother and a father, but not everybody is like that. I know a lot of people that come from homes where there is a single parent, but I think it's the individual themselves because people come from fractured homes, but it's what you do with the lessons that you learned and how you disseminate what you've learned. That's my thought.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm from the hood myself, and I was raised by a single mother. But I think when you get to a certain maturity level, there's so many different avenues out there that can change your mindset, and to not use that dysfunctional environment as a crutch or as an excuse not to better yourself. I truly feel that you can always be a better person. One of my favorite quotes from Bill Gates, he stated that if you it's not your fault if you're born broke, but it is your fault if you die broke. Well, I use that in relationship terms. It's not your fault if you was born in a dysfunctional family, but it is your fault if you continue to have that dysfunctional behavior. And I think that those upbringings
Absolutely.
that those upbringings should teach you the opposite, not to be that way. I mean, I grew up in a household, just based off of my mother doing everything for me, and I stated to myself that,
Mm-hmm.
listen, when I have kids one day, and I have two beautiful daughters, I don't ever want to be like the man that wasn't in my life. I want to be the opposite. So people have to tend to, if you really want to change your mindset, sometimes you got to use the pain, your painful experience as a friend. Sometimes pain
To
could become
heal.
your friend, right? To heal and as your friend, because if you use pain as a friend, then you can say to yourself that I'm going to do better than that person that was very dysfunctional, or someone that was very negative in my life. I could do better than that. I will not be that person. I'll be the total opposite. And sometimes you could channel it for good.
I agree. Again, relationships are so complex that, I mean, you have to really take your time, which is important. But then sometimes you meet people that say one thing and do something else. Some people just talk the talk, but don't really walk the walk. So, people are deceptive, and this is the world we live in. And it is so important because of that to really take the time to really know the people that you're dealing with and really do that friend zone, really take heed to
Mhm.
that and really learn that and pay attention to the red flags because sometimes you see them, but you look the other way. So
Yeah,
pay attention to the red flags. And what
abs-
doesn't look right, if it doesn't feel right, it's because it's not right. Period.
absolutely. I mean, I'm a true believer that you should never allow your emotion to override your logic and reasoning. For example,
Right.
um, a sister could say, I love you, but her actions are not congruent with her words. And that brother could very well state that, oh, I'm going to stay with her because she says she loves me. He's relying on his emotions instead of his logic on how that person is treating him like a second class citizen. So, it's very important to
Right.
have both. Just to use this as an analogy, to me, emotions are like the
Mhm.
rain that hits the windshield, because if you just allow the emotions alone, you won't be able to see while you're driving. The logic is the windshield wipers
Right.
that's wiping off the emotions, so you can see clear. You can see if this person is compatible with you. You can see if this person is either a selfish person or a selfless person. And relationships is all about give. Both people have to go in to give wholeheartedly. And if this
Right.
person is not reciprocating, whether it's a man or a woman, then you know that they're not on the same wavelength as you, and you have the choice.
They're not vested. They're not vested.
Exactly. So should never invest in stocks if it continues to go down. You don't want to make a bad investment. You want someone, if you're looking for a serious relationship, you want someone that's values that matches with yours. The core values. I mean, we all unique, but core values as to, whether they want to get married in the future, if they want to have kids down the line,
Mhm.
if they're very trustworthy. Like one of my moral codes is um, trustworthiness. You know, before I met my wife, I could not be with a woman that goes to my phones or asks my password. That was you me and you not gonna take it to the next level, because trustworthiness is one of my moral codes, and you got to stick by those codes. You can't bend your values for anyone. I don't care how handsome the brother is. I don't care how fly she is. I don't care how curvy your body is. You gotta you gotta have those moral codes, and I believe that when you have more codes, people will respect you. For the brothers, if a woman respect you, then she'll love you. But if she does not respect you, then she can never love you.
But it also goes the other way because again there is a balance because there has to be respect coming from both ends because some men just want everything but don't give anything. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's a
yeah,
balance. It has to be a balance.
yeah. I agree
you
with you. I
know
mean, the most
that's what I
valuable
think.
resource. I agree with you. I mean, the most valuable resource is time. I mean, money comes and goes.
Hmm.
Whether you take that woman to a five-star restaurant or whether you take her to Subway. But it's time is
Right.
very valuable because time
Time.
is non-refundable. You can't never replace it. So this is why I highly encourage the friend zone, because I look at that this way. If your audience is watching, your sisters are watching, us brothers, we like to earn it. We like to pursue a woman that we really is interested in, because we we don't just want what's downstairs. We also want to know what's upstairs. How do you carry yourself if you're bride worthy?
Right.
And I tell my sisters out there, when you go in too fast, it's sort of like if you was like a Olympic gold medal, it's sort of like you're just handing that gold medal to that person without them earning that gold medal. If you notice, like with the
Yeah.
Olympics, brothers gotta put in that sweat and tears in order to get that gold medal. But imagine if that person just gave you the gold medal for free without you working for it. That brother's gonna probably pawn that gold medal at the pawn shop
Right.
because he didn't have to work for it. And I think that's what occurs a lot in these relationships. And I truly believe the woman is the common denominator, because nothing can't move unless she allows it. You know, for brothers knocking on that door,
That's it.
that's it. And if she doesn't open the door, he can't move. He can't move at all. So
Mhm.
really,
Right.
just to use this as another analogy, that brother, he pitched the ball, and she has the option whether she catch it or she decides not to catch it. So I just think there's a balance. It's energy. You got your masculine and you got your feminine
Hmm.
energy, and not one is powerful than the other.
Right.
They go hand in hand in order to create a healthy dynamic. But again, during that friend zone, that's where you have to take your time to get to know that person.
So in the friend zone, so you move to the next level. You've covered everything that you need to cover in the friend zone. You make sure that you're compatible, that you're evenly yoked, that this is
Mhm.
someone that you want to go to the next level with. You've done all this in the friend zone. It's a process. So you get to the other zone, which is the zone where there is more, probably like the touchy-feely stuff, where you feel that, well, this is someone that I feel that I could really rock with this person. So you get to that zone with that person, and then you hope that with all that you've been through in the friend zone, and the person you're walking with to the zone is the well, there's no right or wrong person. You feel, it's a connection. You feel that this is a person that you've connected with and you want to travel along with. But
Right,
then you find out that it's not.
right.
What do you do with that?
And if it's not a compatible match, and or if this person does not want to, during the
Right.
second zone, which is the intimacy zone, if this person is not on the same wavelength as you, then at that moment it
Right.
has to be what we call this the rules of disengagement. Therefore, that you
Right.
don't be physical with that person. You separate yourself mentally,
Hmm.
physically, emotionally. You could be cordial to that person. You could still be um, take time to be apart, because during that intimacy zone, you guys kind of build up some sort of great feelings. So, when one
Right.
person stays like, hey, it's not going the way I expect it to go, somebody else may still have feelings. So I think at that time you have to break that couple identity. So that way, no one is not pretending to be your friend, but deep down, they still want to be with you. So you have to separate that emotional core.
Right.
Um, and sometimes that happens. The problem is some people still try to push the narrative and um,
Hmm.
try to still force that person to go along with what they want out of a relationship. And sometimes that other person may give in, which is really not what they intended it to be. And when that happens, you're creating
Right.
a weak foundation, because you guys are not wholeheartedly in your values. And that's why I always state that you should
Right.
not bend your values for any man or any woman, because if you have those pure values, you will get the relationship you desire. um, Not to say that anyone is perfect. I do believe in the 80-20 rule,
Hmm.
because it's always going to be some quirks or something that you don't like about a person, but at least 80%
Right.
of that person is someone that you can see yourself with, maybe long term or maybe for a lifetime commitment. And 20% is things that are negotiable, whether it be that person's
Right.
height. Somebody said credit score, or your comment, or
That's important.
right,
Credit
said credit
score.
score. But well, here's go with the credit score. See, my whole thing with the credit score is, and I'm going to come back with the sisters. one thing that's very important is I believe character comes first before anything. Character comes first
Character.
before, absolutely, that comes first before money. That comes first before popularity. That comes first before looks. Character is the most important factor because if a brother has good character, the money's going to come regardless. Gotta have good character. You know,
Right.
a man that has integrity, a man that knows where he's going, a man that's ambitious. If he doesn't have good character, all the other secondary options that I mentioned, money, looks, and everything else, that's going to fade with the wind. You're going to really put yourself at a disadvantage when you put everything else before a man's character.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what happens too, there's some men that are kind of crippled when it comes to handling a woman who is strong, because there's some women out there that are strong. Now there are other women on the other side who, you know, are there's nothing wrong with being docile. There's nothing wrong with being, like the word submissive, because that sounds like very ancient to me, and it almost sounds like so and so is my master, and I'm being submissive. What I'm saying is, I think for coupling, it's important. I mean, you don't. It's important that you're not only evenly yoked, but that you have kind of the same mindset and kind of the same goals and aspirations. Because some people are settlers in relationships. Some people get to a relationship and they just want to settle and cruise. But life is about changing and moving forward. If you just want to settle in a relationship, that's not really what you want. You want somewhere where you can lay your head and rest. You know, and to me, relationship is about growth. I don't know if that is right. This is what I think.
Right. I mean, that's a great point. Point well taken. The DBDS philosophy, how I view submissive, like I believe that submit
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of unbalanced terms today. I believe if a
Yeah.
sister's looking for a healthy relationship, she should submit to a man who
Mm-hmm.
uplifts her. She should submit to a man
Mm-hmm.
who inspires her, to one that motivates
Right.
her, one that honors her, one that fulfills her every
Right.
need, one who's willing to take a bullet, put his life on the line for her. So that shouldn't be no problem with her submitting to a brother like that. And I feel like when you
Right.
submit to your man, you are pouring into him or providing him what he needs in order to have what you need. Because if you show him the nurturing
Right.
aspect, especially if he's a good brother, he's going to go to the next level. It's sort of like a rocket ship. When you pour that emotional and nourishing soul into that man, that rocket ship is going to go to the high heavens. And when he gets there,
Mm-hmm.
when he's successful,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? You're successful. And that's how it should work. You know, I again, the
Mm-hmm.
masculine and feminine energy there, I think is it creates balance. You know, and I feel like as a man
Right.
from the opposite spectrum, the more that a man is leading, the more that a man is providing, the more that a man is being a protector, the more that woman is going to be nurturing. So they go hand in hand. They go very hand in hand. So I
Mm-hmm.
personally believe that
Mm-hmm.
for me, submissive is a good thing, as well as someone being a little bit more assertive is a good thing, because I feel like if both people are,
Assertiveness. Yeah.
yeah, I think if both people are equally submissive, then I believe personally it'll create an imbalanced relationship. You need someone to be just a little bit more assertive to take the reign as the leader within a
Right.
relationship. And I feel that that woman should have, if he's, especially if he's a good man, she should have that trust, that confidence within him, knowing that he will steer the ship in the right direction. Because if she doesn't trust him, then what's the point of her being
Right.
with him? You know, then that means that it's not going to be a pure dynamic. And I feel like as a man, he should lead. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, you know, he should. My wife said to me the other day, she said what she loves about our relationship is that I'm in control, but I'm not a controlling man. And at first I didn't get it. And she was like, you
There's a
just,
difference.
yeah, she said, you're in control, but you're not a controlling man. In other words, she said, you just do things, whether it's me, taking out the trash, or whether it's me j- me and Mo just doing our purpose, trying to help people establish healthy relationships. The more successful I am, the more that I'm providing for my family. And I love that. I feel like as a man, I take pride in that. And I feel like a lot of good men out there that can relate to it, they take pride in it as well. And a good woman should reciprocate that. She should be she should give her all and be nurturing and supportive to that man for him to continue to keep on pushing it to the next level. So that way that will benefit the entire family.
Right, right, totally. Well, I mean, it's a balance. It definitely needs to be a balance, and a man needs to lead,
Yeah.
and in a way where, submissive in that term, but where, there's a give and take, because there's some relationships where, you can't just give, 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 and then there's nothing to receive. You know what I mean? It's almost like you just continue to withdraw out of the bank, and there's no money accumulating because you're living for now and you're not living for later. It's okay to live for later, because later also, you're building for later. And I think that's good as well. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, that
It
might
does. It
be,
does.
a
Absolutely.
little bit far-fetched.
I agree with you. No, wholeheartedly. In my book, I have a theory called the tennis theory. And I just feel like when you go out in that court, just like a game of tennis, when you serve that ball to your significant other, you hit it, pop. She's going to hit it right back, pop. And you guys go back and forth. And that guy above the chair looking at you guys having a match, I feel like that's God watching down of the good match you guys are having, a good loving match. And I feel that when you
Right.
have a strong feminine woman, not a strong masculine woman, but a strong feminine woman, and you have a strong masculine man, that is, healthy. Both of them are 100% complete within themselves, because too many people these days,
Right.
they're trying to look for someone to complete them. And I feel that you should already be complete already. And that person should already
Right.
enhance you. That person should enhance you. They should be an addition to your completeness. So whenever you have someone on that level that understands and have those same moral core values as you, they have a similar communication dialect, like love and dialect, then that's going to be a loving match. You hit that ball across the net, it's going to continue to go back and forth. It's going to be a good loving match. Um, I feel like men, on one hand, we're in control of things, but on the other hand, women, they are in charge of things. And again, not one position overlaps the other, because in order for a man to continue to push himself to the next level, that woman is his inspiration. That woman is going to help him get to the next
Right.
level. I'm telling you, Claude, there's been times that
Absolutely.
when I was having writer's block writing the book that Mo and I came out with, my woman came in the room and was like, baby, you can do it. I wrote like 10
Oh,
chapters that night. But guess what? It was her inspiration that planted the seed in me in order to go to the next level. And that's something that classy, intelligent, beautiful women do. Good women do for a good man. They push him to the next level.
I just feel that, yeah, relationships, it's a balance. I think a man needs a woman who can hold her own, because it's important. Because I mean, being with a woman who is meek, I just think it kind of defeats the purpose of object. Is what I'm thinking. And you also you want somebody who is has all the qualities that you mentioned, who is sweet, who tolerates, who encourages, and all that. But I think if you are in a relationship where there is a control factor, then you're just kind of just walking while, if there's a puppeteer situation, then it defeats the purpose, because it shouldn't be that. It should be where you're evenly yoked and you move along towards your goals and aspirations as a couple, with everybody kind of assuming their role, because everybody knows what their role is. And so this is what I think. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. There's a difference between control and lead. They're not the same. There is no puppeteer.
Yeah.
You have a good man that leads, he's not controlling at all. And in fact, that he gets quality advice from his significant other, from his wife.
Right.
And then she trusts him enough in his capability to make that decision. She understands
Right.
that role and he understands his role. Another example I can give you, say, for example, if somebody was to break into your house, it's like a
Right.
robber or a thief in the house. Who you think is going to go downstairs to handle that? Not the
The
woman.
man.
Exactly.
Oh.
So again, She understands the
Yeah.
dynamic. She understands that dynamic, that that's the brother. He's the
Yeah.
one. Us as
Right.
men, we have to take that bullet first. And guess what? If I get
Right.
hurt in the process, guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna nurture me back to health. You see what I'm saying? So,
Right.
a lot
Right.
of women, certain women, I won't say a lot, but certain women have to understand the difference between control and lead. You know, um,
Hmm.
I believe that a woman that's looking for a serious relationship should want a leader because a leader is going to get things done. He's going to be ambitious. People like
Right.
Barack Obama,
Hmm.
leader. People like Denzel Washington, leader. You don't want a man that's controlling. A man that's controlling is one that just bark orders, doesn't take any input from a significant other and not ambitious. And that's not a relationship. That's more like a dictatorship. So there's a huge difference between the two. If you
Hmm.
So that's one. So if you don't have a leader, then you may end up with a controller. If you don't have a controller, then you may end up with a follower. And I'm telling my sisters out there, I know they get turned off, but
Right.
you don't want a man that's a follower. Because when you have a man that's a follower, then that puts you in a mother and child relationship. That means that she has to be masculine.
Hmm.
The brother don't have anything going on. And what happens in the mother and child relationship? She acts like a surrogate mother. He acts like an adopted son. And over time, that woman will begin to lose respect for him because he is not leading the relationship. It's sort of like, I don't know if you know how to do you know how to do the tango and the waltz? You know how to dance?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
It's sort of like the tango and the waltz. During the dance, who's leading the dance? It's the man leading the dance. Right. It's the
Right.
man. It's the brother. He's the one that's spinning her around. He's the one that's lifting her up because it creates balance. And guess what? That woman likes to be spun around. She likes to be lifted up. You know why? Because she's engaged with her man. She wants the people to see her beauty. You know what I'm saying? You never
Hmm.
just imagine if a woman was spinning the guy around and lifting him up. It will it will be so unbalanced.
Kind of
You know?
weird.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you get these examples that I'm getting. But at the end of the day, again, when you have a strong feminine woman, she's just as powerful as a strong masculine man, just as powerful. She just create her physical characteristics and her natural desires are different. That complements the man, and his physical characteristics and difference complements the woman. She makes him a better man, and he makes her a better woman. North Pole, South Pole, yin and yang, pretty much.
Yin and yang. There are a few questions from our viewers. If you
Yes.
want to just grab a couple and just kind of dive in, let's do that. Let's
Yeah.
do
Let's
that.
see if they have.
Oh, here's a brother. Dwayne Stanton Holmes. He said that a relationship is a business. What's your credit
Credit score.
score?
I was watching
So that's what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah,
Let's see. There are a couple more
I agree with
here.
him. I see
Well, I
that. I
mean,
can see
if
the
you
point of view. Yep.
if your car ain't happening, I mean, what we gonna do? We gonna live. So you got to have something or do something. Um, let's see what else is here. Well, somebody really likes how you broke down the levels of the relationship, how you explained that. Somebody else liked that. Let's see what we have here. Another
Yeah.
user said they like the fact that, going step by step to really get to, the end result, which is also powerful. Let's see what else we have here.
Oh, we do have a question at the
Someone
bottom.
say, preach, my friend. Yeah, what's the
Oh,
question? Uh-huh.
they're asking how many success stories does the company have? That's a really good question. We just started DBDS
Very.
singles. At least is still fresh. It just recently started. Um, so right now we're coming up with some testimonials when it comes to those people. We do have, as far as the DBDS University site, we do have a testimonial for a few people that tried our courses and it actually helped them to gravitate towards a healthy relationship. So to answer your question, we do have a few success stories when it comes to the DBDS University platform, but for DBDS singles, as far as like couples coming out of that relationship website, That's still an ongoing process because we're brand new on that. I see another comment, a relationship is supposed to be 50-50. Ah, see, my philosophy take on it is you should go into a relationship already full, already complete. You should not be looking for somebody to complete the other half of you. I think you should be going in you should be 100
Mhm.
and that person should be 100. They're only supposed to be enhancing you. Because what happens when you go in with that 50-50 mindset, you're you already have a portion of you already depleted looking for someone to complete you. And that's half full. You want to go in 100
Right.
100. That's very important. Um, what else? Someone said thank you. Okay. Oh, you're very much welcome. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate that. No doubt. Okay. Okay, Claudette. So yes, I
Well,
mean,
do you want to
okay.
what advice? What advice? Because you're the man. You're the man,
No, I'm just a
and I
servant of
mean,
love, man.
you
I just want.
obviously have experience. This is something but you know what? You know what? You're on point. And because you're someone who's really taken the time to think this through and put things into fruition where there is a school, and not only that, but you've put tools out there that are important, you know, for life expectancy, and not only that, but to kind of navigate through life, wanting the things that you want and the things that you deserve. What advice do you have for our brothers and sisters?
The advice I have is just be yourself, be authentic. Um, don't go in trying to pretend to be somebody you're not. Um, you know, have some moral codes. Don't bend them. You know, one of my favorite movies is Scarface. One of his codes were no women, no kids. And you know, I know that that's a bad character, but you get what I'm saying. You just want to be yourself and have those core values. Have your rules of engagement. Know what you want out of relationship and where you want it to go. Understand the laws of physics. You know, if you're whatever action you have can create equal or greater reaction. So if you're the type of brother that's
Right.
on social media just showing off your money, well, the laws of physics may come back and you may attract. It's a high probability you may attract a lot of women that will put the financial aspect before your character. Or if you're the type of woman that is very promiscuous and you take a million backshot photos, then you may have a high probability and attract men who just want to have a physical transaction with you. So again, that's the laws of physics.
Right.
Your action is equal or greater reaction. So think about that. And also, don't always put your emotions as your main threshold. You want to have the emotions and logic. You know, it's good to have the chemistry factor, but again, collect data so you can see if this person is compatible with you. Check their emotional temperature. If that woman or man, um, disagrees with you in a disrespectful manner, and they do that on a consistent basis, or they don't have respect of people that surrounding you, then that's a red flag. So, you know, all these tips are in my book, Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, Listen Up, which Claudette, thank you for. So you guys, it's on Amazon right now, and is at a 4.8 rating, high rating, great book. Make sure you pick it up, and thank you, man. This was such an honor, such an honor to be on your show.
I appreciate you for coming on. There were hiccups before we got on, but let me just say this, it was worth it. I would not have had other way, and I hope that our viewers were able to hear your message and really digest it, really receive it in the way that it was given. Treamell, I appreciate you, and I can't wait to be on your show. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Tell people how they can find you again before you go.
Yes, you can find me on Facebook, Treamell Lawrence. It's just like my name is spelled at the bottom, Treamell, Treamell Lawrence. Also, if you want to join the group, um, DBDS, which stands for Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, but just put in the initials, DBDS. This group is a very, very mature, high quality group. Um, It's a lot of little posts that I put in there. Um, we have an anonymous section, so if you have any issues in your relationship, you can remain strictly confidential. You can. We also set up private sessions with people if they want to get some advice. And go to dbdssingles.com. If you're single, if the dating arena is very challenging out there, join our site. It's completely free, but it has some brothers. It got some 9 pieces up there, and sisters, we got some high quality men up there. So please make sure you join.
Thank you. I will thank all the viewers, all the people that sign on. Special thank you to Delphine Neal, who continues to support me and push my information out. I'm just really speechless when it comes to thanking you for all that you do for me. And I love you, and this is coming from the heart. I want to thank Mark Austin for giving me all those fantastic flyers when I ask and doing it in a nanosecond. Again, I appreciate you, Mark, and again, happy birthday to you. I want to say a special happy birthday to my son, Gabriel Allen. He just had a birthday on August 3rd. He's 27, people.
Wow.
I have a 27-year-old son. Woo!
Wow. That's
happy
amazing.
birthday to you, Gabriel. And again, I just want to give a shout out to my daughter too, Maya Alexa. She is my heart, and Gabriel is my soul. They're my heart and soul. Thank you to all those people who support me. I appreciate you. And just remember to find what's important, and no matter how minuscule, whatever the situation is, just take something good out of it, because there's something good in everything that happens. And that is my word to you today. Follow me, as you see on my page. You can follow me on Facebook under Claudette St. Rose. You can also follow me on my page, Believe in Yourself Video with Claudette St. Rose, and on YouTube. I'm trying to build that platform. So that is Believe in Yourself with Claudette St. Rose on YouTube. And again, Treamell, I thank you. And to all those fantastic people who were watching, I'm giving you my heart and my soul. And until next time, love you guys to pieces. Treamell, thank you, brother. And I can't wait to hang with you and Mo. And Mo, we miss you. I'm sorry. Mo, we miss you. But Treamell did his business here for you both. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace and blessings, everybody. Until next time. Love you, brother Treamell. Love you.
Love you too, sister.
Thank you. Thank you. Until next time, everybody. Bye.